So today I will go over a paragraph on Macbeth. Now this is a very long paragraph that you will have to write in your exam, but it is a grade 9 worthy paragraph. So it's basically saying we will write about how on the last scene in Act 5, Shakespeare portrays Macbeth as a two-sided character. So he portrays him as a complex character. So here I've wrote out what we will write on our first side of the paragraph and second. So we will say, like, on the one hand, he is arrogant, hubristic, and depraved. And obviously quotes for that would be how he says hang out the banners, our castle will laugh a sea to scorn. And then on the other side of the spectrum, we could say that right at the end we see his defeatist nature and his nihilistic nature come to the fore, as he acknowledges the fact, firstly, that he's been deceived by the witches, and furthermore, we see him as a nihilistic individual, as he says that uh, life is nothing but a walking shadow, a tale told by an idiot, signifying nothing. Also, we could also add in that he has lost his morality due to his heinous crimes. So a quote for that would be out brief candle. And obviously the candle, you could say that is this symbolic image which is referring to God's guidance, and Macbeth has lost this form of guidance due to his depraved nature. Okay, so I'm just gonna show the quotation analysis. So here is the possible quotes which you could use in this in your paragraphs when you're referring to this particular part of the play. So you could say how he refers to Lady Macbeth as your patient, and because he refers to her as a patient, it just shows that he's completely lost his connection uh, with his spouse due to him being so self-absorbed and ambitious about his status as a king. Also, you could talk about just referring back to Lady Macbeth here. She should have died hereafter. Obviously, I've just wrote the analysis here, so you could say um, uh, you could say how this starkly contrasts with how he viewed her earlier as his dearest partner of greatness. You could also say how he's almost stripped her of her importance in in his life. And then I've mentioned before this quote here, our brief candle. You could say that this links to his nihilistic nature. So this you could refer to as his nihilistic nature. And I've also wrote here how you could mention there is a motif of light. So obviously the candle is not necessarily referring to light, but obviously a candle is associated with light. So if you are mentioning the word candle as well as mentioning as well as analyzing symbolism, you could also mention light and then refer to that as God's guidance. And the fact that this light is and the repetition of the word out, you could say that is reflecting the significance of the life of a candle. It eventually burns out and dies. Could be a metaphor for his realization that death could come soon. And you could also say, on the other hand, candle is a symbol of a light, which could the candle gives light, which could be a symbol of God's guidance, and it could be a form of religious imagery. So that's one part of the paragraph. So here is a second part of the paragraph. So here you could obviously wrote more quotes here and analyze them. So if you want, you could take a quick read. If you will, I'm sure you will be able to read the handwriting here. Okay. So just pause the video now and you can have the read of this. And also I've included this box here to show you how you can you could be guided through your quotation analysis. So you can first think about how he's feeling. sorry, you could first think about how he's feeling at this point, as the army is approaching his castle. Then secondly, you can think about the juggling fiends, and what that indicates. He obviously juggling means that he's basically been played, deceived by the witches. And thirdly, you could say you could mention how this is a lasting image to the audience. uh you could here find at the end of the paragraph, this just refers to Shakespeare's message. And if you're doing AQA, you could also say that Shakespeare's message was that he used Macbeth as this kind of social construct or social mouthpiece to show to the assassinators of King James that you should not kill such a king, because King James was you could say that uh, this um this book acts as a cautionary tale to warn the people who tried to do Guy Fawkes and assassinate King James. So you could say that Shakespeare uses Macbeth as a social construct or social mouthpiece to warn or advocate a message to the audience on the consequences of regicide. So yeah. Again, here's all of the vocabulary. This is the vocabulary you will use when writing up this paragraph right at the end of your essay. So hubris, invincible, depraved, and nihilistic. Those are the words that I recommend using. You can't use all of them, obviously, because you can't make this paragraph too long. Again, just acknowledging the fact that you have limited time in the exam. The motifs and imagery, I've mentioned light, dark. You don't really need. You just need one piece of motif or slash imagery, and here, in my opinion, religious imagery would be enough. So this is the paragraph which you will need to write. So obviously, as you can see, this first bit here, which I've just done in red, that is the first part of the paragraph where we talk about how he is boastful, confident, hubristic, and depraved. And then the second half, I just rub that bit out there. You don't need that bit. But this word, however, shows that we are talking about the other side of the coin. So this, however, we talk about how he is nihilistic, and his defeatist nature also comes to the fore. Now, in this paragraph, not written the word nihilistic, unfortunately, but you could add it. It's not really important, but if you want to, you could add it. You could add it potentially. So the core I've just wrote out here, life is a walking shadow, a tale told by an idiot signifying nothing. You could use this as a supporting quote for the out brief candle, and then mention how this shows he's nihilistic. So yeah, I hope this was beneficial.